In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to graph your temperature versus time data for your specific heat capacity lab. Alright, so I've already entered some data. I just made these numbers up. I put titles so you can see what I'm putting there. You don't have to put titles if you don't want to. But do remember, please, that the first column is always going to be your x-axis and the second will always be your y-axis. Because we want to have temperature on the y-axis, I made sure I put it second, and times first, so it's on the x-axis. So next, I'm going to left-click on the first number in the on the x-axis in the first row, first column, excuse me, and then I'm going to hold down the Shift button and left-click on the very last number. So I highlight all the data. Make sure you do not highlight the titles up here if you put them. Next, we're just going to go to Insert, Chart, and like before, we're going to click XY Scatter, click Next, Next again, and Next again. Unclick Display Legend. The title will be Temperature versus Time. Subtitle, your name. Don't put my name. Put your own. On the x-axis, we have time, and the units are seconds. And on the y-axis, we have temperature, and the units are degrees Celsius. So if you want to put the degree sign here, if you right-click right there, and then left-click special character, you can select the degree symbol, insert, and you want to probably click the x and y axes both, and click finish. Now we're going to tidy it up a little bit here. First thing is, I don't like how big these points are, so I'm going to right-click on one of these data points, click Format, left-click on Format Data Series, and click on Line. Now over here where it has width and height, right, the Keep Ratio button is selected, so I just have to do one of those. They'll both go the same. I'm going to make it about 0.05 centimeters. And to me, that looks a little bit nicer. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up the axes themselves because all this space down here is wasted. We want the graph to take up as much of the physical graph as we can. So when it's the y-axis box pops up, when I hover over it, I'll right-click on that, left-click on Format Axis, and go to Scale. I don't want the minimum to be 0. My minimum on my y-axis is 20.1. 20.1, yeah, so I'm going to probably make the minimum, unclick, automatic, probably make that 19. I always go a little bit past. And my top, 35 is probably okay for that. So I'll click OK. That's a little better. And we can chop off this end over here too. If we hover over the x-axis, see that box pop up, right-click, left-click Format Axis. Minimum is 0. Maximum for the x-axis is 435. So I'll probably make it like 450. Your numbers are going to be different. I just made up some numbers to use. Now all you really need to do is you're going to have to print this out so you can draw the lines by hand. And what I'm going to do, okay, notice how this has this gray outline here. I'm going to left-click outside of the graph and then left-click on the graph. Now see the blue dots? That means I can select the whole graph. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to move it over here. Now, do you see these darker lines right here and here, and then down here? I want that to fit in between the two, so I'm going to rotate it. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to, with the blue dots around here, I'm going to right-click. I'm going to go left-click on Position and Size. I'm going to go to Rotation, and I'm going to make the rotation angle 90 degrees. 90. Click OK. And then I just have to make sure that it still fits within those solid lines. So it's there. It's looking pretty good. I could even maybe expand it a little bit. And that should be good. So now, okay, again, make sure that you still have the blue dots like this right here around the graph. Go to File, Print. Now this part's important. Click Selected Cells. And see it has 1 of 1. That means my graph's going to fit on one page. And then go ahead and click OK. You're going to have different printers up here. But when you click OK, it should print just the graph. Again, make sure you click Selected Cells. I'm going to click Cancel.